Ken Roczen, Vancouver, a solid night for you. Your starts let you down a little bit, but the speed was really quite something. So overall, positive?
No, very positive. I'm actually stoked because I hate this dirt. It was actually nothing like how it was last year. I compared it last year. It was very tacky, very ruddy, but more like an Indy style track, as in clay with rocks. But today it was like Milestone, Glen Helen, have a baby type thing, which is my biggest nightmare. I always say you cannot pay me enough money to go to Glen Helen and test, just because I don't agree with that dirt. And then mix some rocks in it, you know what I mean? And it becomes a big problem. But to be quite honest, it was only really the first start that let me down. Jason, I don't know if he got bumped or something, but he kind of jumped the berm on the start that was kind of like the barrier basically, but there was no tough luck. So every time I wanted to turn, Jason was right there and I couldn't. So even in the last one, I ended up, if I would have been able to turn, I think I would have came out like second maybe. And I ended up being fifth. So I think it's faking it a little bit. My first start wasn't the greatest. And I definitely had to override the track because I was in like 10th or something. I had to override the track to even just get into third. And, but yeah, overall, for what it was in practice, I was pretty unhappy just with, I wasn't comfortable on the track. It was sketchy, super rocky. And then again, though, when the gate drops, I kind of just make it happen, you know what I mean? So really excited to go into the last main after the second one because I think I rode really well. And once I got into second, I'm an idiot. I've been so good at skimming the whoops, you know, it's kind of been my strong point. I ended up jumping in and I made just a couple of big mistakes that after me reeling in on Eli, it just opened up that gap again. And towards the end, I got it down a little bit again, but it just kind of screwed me up and just made some bad decisions on jumping the track. So, but in the end, for what it was, I went 3, 1, 2. I'm in a really good spot. I'm good on my physical and my bike's really good. I haven't made a click change. So I do think it was overall a good weekend, you know what I mean? If it was maybe a little bit more of, let's call it normal dirt, because I would say in the US, we don't have anything like this in a supercross track, you know? Then it could have maybe ended up even a little bit better for me. So I'm totally fine just getting out of here healthy. I think I rode well and I raced much better than I practiced here. So
yeah, you've said a lot this isn't your type of track, and also you're balancing risk versus reward. It's the off season.
And it's not an excuse. It really isn't an excuse because I know Eli loves this stuff and I tried really hard to kind of turn the page on like, hey, I wanted to go win and I didn't end up making it happen. But
like, are you surprised how much you let yourself go and did override, you know, like, because I feel like you pushed your boundaries maybe more than you normally would?
Yeah, maybe. I guess it's kind of fun for me to push the limits a little bit as well. You know, in the first one, dude, I was all over the place. I was making mistakes. I was casing jumps, but I feel like I had to override the track to make the passes happen. And that's in the end, you know, what I did to get into third and then stay there, you know. So again, I don't know. I'm kind of just going, you know, without thinking too much. You know, I don't want to make like anything crazy, but I just kind of went for it, try to be aggressive. And then, you know, I would case a jump or I'd kind of like get all squirrely. I'm like, oh, maybe I should have taken it a little bit easy. But yeah, anyways, good weekend, really.
Where was Eli better than you and where were you better than Eli? What stood out?
Good question. Honestly, in the third one, he was just far enough away to where I don't know. I mean, I think my strong point last weekend and this weekend overall have been the whoops. And then, but I know he you know, that type of like Glen Helen dirt, I know that's what he has at his house. So I know he loves this type of stuff. So I don't know. I really don't know. Like I said, I was inching up, made a couple of mistakes. The gap went bigger, and towards the end, I kind of came closer again. So I think it's really just on me. I should have cleaned some things up and maybe not make that mistakes because then you have a tiny little window on when you can, I guess, kind of break somebody, you know. And I was inching and inching and inching, and then I had 2 terrible laps, and the gap went back bigger. Where I feel like those 2 laps were very important for me to actually get onto him, and I didn't make that happen.
All eyes are on Anaheim 1. That's the focus. Did you gain valuable knowledge here, or is the track so random and weird that everything you did with a bike and yourself just goes out the window? It
is random and weird, but at the same time, I think it's always just a test of where my physical is at. And my speed's there. I think the spunkiness in the first 2 laps, like, even though for it not being my type of track, I did think I made something happen. Yeah. So racing is always good practice, and it's nice not being rushed going into Anaheim 1. I think I'm just overall in a really good spot.
Last question, really, the last question. You were great in Argentina, great again tonight, despite no win. Are we at all worried that you're peaking too soon? Because I feel like you're on a really, really good level early in the off-season.
I am, but no, not really, because I feel like I have a pretty good handle on, you know, I'm going to go back this week, and since we have a big travel coming up on Sunday, I'm going to take it easy, enjoy some time with the family. if anything, it's actually the opposite. I'm kind of glad that I am in the spot that I'm at right now, physically and everything, because that allows me to just be a little bit more relaxed going into December and work on myself a little bit without feeling like I have to do laps. I have to, you know what I mean? So just maybe from the outside it looks that way, but for me internally, I feel like I'm in a really good spot.